Good morning. My name is Jay, and I am coming live this morning. It is Saturday morning here in Arizona. It is Sunday morning if you're overseas. Good morning and welcome to my live. I am at the top of Pinnacle Peak, and it is an overcast day. It just started to rain. I expect rain for most of the day, so I'm on my way back down the mountain, but I wanted to check in, and I've got a few things that bubbling up for me from within, and I want to really honor a number of women this morning. First and foremost, I want to again honor and thank Deb's Deb, as her screen name is, for coming on last night, having the absolute bravery and courage to come on to my show, Real Men, Real Talk Raw, and share her truth, her experience, and her healing process to walk through the darkness of the soul of having been raped, through her experience of dating through an online service. And as bad as that was, it got even worse when she was interrogated by the first responders and how they botched her case. But this is more about Deb and less about her experience. It's just like, I'm just so blown away. You know, how often have we done things on a Friday night or a Saturday night as younger adults, and even as adults, and we wake up in the morning and we have that afterburn, that disgusting feeling of, I can't believe I did what I did last night, or I'm never going to do that again. Usually has to do with how much we drank, or who we decided to go home with, or whatever the scenario was, or whoever we had a fight with, or it was a friend or a loved one or a partner, a husband or a wife, a child. But how often do we have that afterburn where we go to anger, resentment, or guilt, or shame and blame, and we just feel horrible? Well, you know, it's a beautiful thing that on most days today, when I wake up the morning after, I very rarely have that afterburn. You know, I wake up most days and I have just an absolute feeling of gratitude and of humility, and so many other just beautiful emotions that just come from within. And it's because I've worked hard to change my behavior and how I treat others, and what I'm willing to accept, and what I'm willing to tolerate, and what I'm not, knowing how to want to set boundaries. But again, today is not about setting boundaries. It's about just acknowledging the bravery and the courage. And that's why I chose this shirt to wear today, Choose Courage, because I'm just in such gratitude. My heart and soul is just filled with such love this morning for Deb. I'm so proud that she had the courage to come on and share her story in a most very public way in social media, and through her experience of showing up last night, and she's showing up in many other let's say modalities in public up in Canada where she's from. She not only helps to heal herself, but she actually helps to heal other women, other children, other men, that family members that have been affected by sexual abuse or rape. And so I applaud, I honor the work that Deb's doing today, and the changes that she is making, that she is willing to compromise her own privacy and her own emotional feelings that she has had to learn how to accept and live with and let go of to navigate through her healing journey. Yet she's willing to put herself, her vulnerability on the line and come out in a very public way. And I so much love you for that, Deb. I want to acknowledge some people that are on live. Adele, happy birthday. I believe you had a birthday yesterday. Amanda Warfield, I love your text from late yesterday. That's the best $105,000 investment you made in your lifetime. And I applaud you for having the courage to take the steps to improve your life at home. Hi, Adele. Who we got? Deb. Hey, Deb. Thank you so much. Shavita Jochi, Bot, coming in from India. Thank you for being here. I believe it's India. If it's not, you can correct me. Janine, thanks for being here. So there's two other women I want to acknowledge this morning. And I just posted something that's been a very big part of my family. My mom made a conscious decision, I believe it's 5 or 6 years ago, she was offered the opportunity to work with a filmmaker down in Florida as she was navigating through my dad's disease that he was diagnosed with. At the time, at the time was about 10 years, he had Alzheimer's. And she agreed to be filmed through the process as his primary caretaker. And she, she saw the filmmaking to the end. And my sister was involved in it as well. She, having been based in New York, Sharon Lippman came down to Florida as often as she could physically get there to be supportive to my mom and my dad as they watched my dad's decline through the years, over a decade. The average Alzheimer's patient goes between 8 and 10 years, and then they succumb. My dad went 15, and I've blogged about my dad's disease in the past, but I just want to honor my mom and my sister because, they didn't have to do that. And the fact that my mom saw it through to the end, and in the end wasn't when my dad passed, because then she was involved in the actual editing process. No, she wasn't in front of the computer editing. That was left up to the filmmaker, Eric. However, she was very active throughout the complete process. And I want to share this part of the story, which is, we all have choices to make in our life. And we all decide what we think is best for us. And there were many times that my sister was not in support of my mom working on this project, and she vocalized her feelings on it. And there was a few times where I shared my feelings on it because I was very much, I'd say, not in support of the project, because here's my sister's truth and here's my truth. After my dad passed away, and my mom continued to work on the project, it kept her in the past. I believe, and my sister felt, that it was really hurting my mom to be able to move forward in her life. My mom is 82 years old today. She turned 82 in April. And so, my dad passed away about coming up on 2.5 years ago. My mom's kind of still been in it, because every week, every day, whenever she's doing another editing review of some level, she's right back. She's right back there in all of the experience of what she was living in. And for me, I just didn't see that as serving my mom well. But here's the truth. You see, it didn't matter what I thought, and it didn't matter what my sister thought. What mattered is what my mom felt was right for her. And she followed her intuition. And her intuition was that she wanted to be a part of a project that was way bigger than her own grieving process, her own pain, and her own self. She wanted to provide a documentary that would show other caretakers what it's like to navigate through a long process of being a caretaker for someone you love. My mom and dad were married over 50 plus years, and there was a lot of love there. And she just wanted this to be much bigger than her story. And so she didn't listen to what other people said, She said, it's none of my business what you think about me. And she moved forward, even though she wasn't able to, in my opinion, or my sister's, which really was irrelevant, walk through the grieving process in the most healthiest way. But you know what? She did it the way she did it. And whether we agree with it or not, it's her grief, it's her loss. And she did what she wanted to do because she felt that she was giving back to others, that she would give back to others by completing this project. And I commend my mom for that. I didn't agree with her because my heart broke for her. But I commend her that she didn't listen to us, and she followed what her intuition told her, what her wisdom told her. And I'm so proud of my mom. And I'm proud of my sister for being part of this project. From day one, she has got a pretty significant part in this project, in the movie. And both my mom and sister, they're not movie makers, they're just normal people that just go through life. but they were willing to show up, and they participated, and they made this movie that is premiering tonight in South Florida. The movie is called When All That's Left Is Love, and the movie is about the following my family as my dad navigated through the disease, as well as the filmmaker's mom and dad. His dad also succumbed to Alzheimer's disease. As I shared in my post, I played a very little part in this documentary because I had chosen to detach from my family for 4 years due to my own personal circumstances of severe, significant, debilitating pain that I was going through. And so I did not participate in this documentary until the very end, when I actually showed up about 5 to 7 weeks before my dad passed. I boarded a plane and I went down to Florida shortly after I had hit my rock bottom, maybe less than 2 months after. I went down to Florida, made my amends to my family members, and I got to say what I needed to say to my dad. And my dad passed away about 5 or 6 weeks later. However, so I've got a really small part. Eric did film me in an interview scene, as well as me talking to my dad's bedside, really more crying and sharing my feelings towards my dad at his bedside. But this movie was not about me at all. This movie was about courage that my mom and my sister had, and the same courage. We talk about courage. There's all levels of courage, people. There's all levels of courage. Some of us just jumping off that diving board is courage. Some of us deciding to change jobs is courage. Some of us, it's trying a new food or a new restaurant. Some of us, it's going out on our first date after we lose a loved one. Sometimes it's walking into a new church or synagogue for the first time, or the first time you walk in, let's say, to a 12-step meeting if you're suffering with some type of addiction. There's all different kinds of courage that we take that we choose to take or not. To me, having the courage to put ourselves out there in a very, very public way, like Deb is willing to do, to share her story of what she went through when she was raped, and what it took for her to come back and heal from that experience, as well as the courage that it took for my mom and my sister to be willing to put themselves out there, two very, very private people, to put themselves out there in a very, very public way and share their personal story of love for my dad, and their willingness to be there with it until the end was just unwavering level of courage to participate and not turn their back on the project and stick with it to the end. And for that, I will forever be humbled by them showing up for themselves and for others. And so that's what I got this morning. That is what true courage is about to me today, is when we are willing to just put ourselves out there, be our authentic selves, be vulnerable, and share our own experience, strength, and hope with others. And through that process, we get to pay it forward. And I honor Deb, my mom, Arlene Rothman, my sister Sharon Littman, and God bless you all. Have a beautiful day. Good luck tonight. I am not going to be at the premiere in Florida. I am grounded, meaning not in a timeout, but I am choosing not to board airplanes right now until I have healed my blood clotting autoimmune disease. As far as I'm concerned, I have healed it through my fasting, but I'm not 100% sure. I won't be until I get my tests back. So at this point, I am not flying anywhere across the U.S. or overseas, but that's okay because I am with my family. As I hiked this mountain this morning, I actually had the song on that I played when I spoke at my dad's funeral, when I gave my eulogy for my dad that I spoke at. And so I'm with my sister, my mom, and my dad today. I honor all three of you. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Good luck this evening, and we'll catch you on the next hike. Take care. Love you all. Thanks for joining me today. Bye-bye.